some specific information, particularly to the classroom. So we want to make sure everyone gets a picture with the June 19th display that Sister Cherie and her staff have done such a wonderful job of putting up. Adults, if you can get a picture as well, and then we'll try to get everyone's pictures on the boards. So we have a lot of activities planned, and we're getting ready to pass the classes, and everyone's going to have to listen. So you need to put up whatever you have, make sure it's in your hands, and that you don't leave it on the benches, okay? Again, this is God's house, and we have to take care of it. But I also want to just point out Sandy. Sandy, he did a wonderful job inviting people to Vacation Bible School, and we have a whole family here, and we want to welcome them and the young people, so we hope you will enjoy yourselves and come out the rest of this week. All right? So we're going to start with, let's see, we're going to start with, we've already, talked about our chuck wagon, right? We've got this Western theme going on, and we're going to keep it on all week. So we want to thank the people who have prepared meals and the snacks. We're going to start with our Bible story barn. That's our classrooms, Bible story barn. So teachers, are you here? Can you stand up and receive your students? So the first group going to the classroom will be the kindergarten through third. These are the younger ones. So Sister Tia is going to take you. If you just finished, listen, if you just finished kindergarten, first grade, second grade, or third grade, stand up. If you just finished the class you just finished, not what you're going to, what you just finished, kindergarten, first, second, third, stand up. Okay? Okay, Creston, come on over here. Creston, I want you to lead. Go over there to Sister Tia. Everyone follow Crescent. Follow. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Somebody left a hat. Uh-huh. Okay. This baby here, Courtney. Right here. This baby here. Just her? Just her. Okay. Okay. What about, Well, how old is she? Preschool? They are preschool. Okay. We'll keep them here for a second. Okay, the next group. You know what? Yes, I have. All right, I need fourth. If you just finished fourth, fifth, and sixth grade. Fourth, fifth, and sixth grade. Stand up. Fourth, fifth, sixth grade. Okay, over here with me. Fourth, fifth, and sixth grade. Okay, let's go back here. To look for. All of our teens, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. If you just finished those grades, stand up. Arts and crafts. Where's the teacher for that? Lauren? Okay. Our young adults, ages 18 to 35. All right, our young adults are going to be in Sister Mac's class. The room is marked on the wall in the back. Adults, we have a special treat for you at 7:30. So if you will take a break at 7:30, Pastor, the young lady who has the meal truck, she's got some ice cream cups. She's giving this to us free. So if you'll come out, take an ice cream. If you want to give her a little tip, that'd be nice too. All right, thank you. Have a good class.
Testing. Somebody broke his mic. I'm sorry, Clifford. I forgot we were streaming tonight. Amen. All right. We'll get some books. Sign-in sheet will help, yeah. Tonight we're going to work with a combination of some material that is going to address the idea of getting in alignment with God. I think it is important for us to understand that there's so many of us who are still, I don't know if it's a struggle, but trying to find ourselves in places and in a place where we can find the aspect right down front here to where we are right here. Making some more. You'll take care of it whenever you can. The concept of really trying to find ourselves in a position where we're pleased with ourselves in relationship with God and God is pleased with us, which is one of the most difficult places to be in at one time or another, or trying to get there as much as possible. Carolyn, you have your mic tonight? Carolyn's going to open us up. And she's going to read this first page Then we're going to just move through here. It's just a 3-day lesson that I put together. And we're going to work with it and do our best to try to see ourselves in this lesson and see where we can hopefully wake ourselves up to what God is expecting and want us to do. Spiritual alignment with God, Carolyn, go ahead.
In the beginning, God formed humanity with purpose, breathing into us not only life, but direction and intended harmony between creator and creation. Spiritual alignment, then, is not something we invent, but something we return to. It is the quiet realignment of the heart, mind, and will with the divine order established by God from the foundation of the world. Scripture reveals that this alignment begins with surrender. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding.
I want to stop there. The reason why I have to stop there, because what you're going to understand very quickly is that alignment is not an outward situation. Alignment is inward. Alignment is inward. Men know in order to have a vehicle to drive straight, you got to have an inward alignment, a front end alignment. You don't have an outside alignment, you have a front end alignment. For a car to drive as straight as possible, that is most of the quickest illustration I could give. For people to be spiritually balanced or spiritually aligned with God, it has to start on the inside. What's so ironic about it is it started first in creation. We were spiritually aligned when we were made in the very beginning. We all know something went wrong. Is that right? Yeah, something went wrong. And so we were in perfect harmony. Man was in perfect harmony with God. And ever since we got out of harmony, we've been trying. I don't know if we've been trying, but God has had a great desire for us to be back in harmony with him. And so much so until he gave us his best to put us back in harmony with him. And that is his son was given as a sacrifice for us to be in harmony with him. The scripture even serves as a guideline for a roadmap to surrender, which is difficult for so many of us. There's so many things in our lives that we have to surrender to. We surrender to one thing and then find out we got to surrender to something else. Surrender is, believe it or not, after you surrender to the pathway of salvation, you're going to find out you're going to have to surrender to something else. A lot of people don't agree with that, but it's true. It's really true. Salvation is the first step of surrender. Growing in grace and in the knowledge of Jesus Christ is a constant surrender of something every day, or something you're going to run across in your life every day that can build intimacy between you and God. And so when we look at this particular situation, whether you realize it or not, we all have something in us that will cause intimacy between God and ourselves. Any questions so far? None? Read on.
To walk in God's will is to release the illusion of control and to recognize that his wisdom surpasses human reasoning. Spiritual alignment is not passive. It is an active yielding, choosing obedience even when the path is unclear.
That is so difficult because many of us believe in things that are so, we just don't believe in walking by faith. We have to see it. Paul even tells us if we're going to be an effective believer, we have to walk by faith and not by. And some of us have to see things to believe it. Is that right? Yeah, we got to see it to believe it. And that's why he said earlier, the last thing he said, we have to move by faith even when it's unclear to us. When it's unclear to us, yet it is clear to God. And many of us don't like to be in situations that are what? Unclear and seem to be uncertain. Because we want to be able to understand what is factual and what I can put my touch and feel and taste and etc. That's just how we are. A lot of us say we believe, but if I can't touch it or see it, I got to see it for myself. Yeah, you know. That's why some of our lives are so have become so problematic. That's why our children, when we tell them, baby, don't do this. Well, okay, I hear you, mama. I hear you, daddy. But I got to try it for myself. Okay, I've told you, that it's like this. But, well, okay, I got to see for myself. How many of y'all have done that? Don't raise your hand. You don't want nobody to know you've done it. You know you've done it. I got to see for myself. And when you see for yourself, then you're angry with yourself because your first mind told you not to do it. But seeing for yourself overrode your first mind. And so you wanted to see it for yourself because you wanted to be clear about what was unclear. You can never be clear about what is unclear because you don't have the ability to be clear about what's unclear. Only God is clear about what's unclear. Y'all missed that one. All right? Because if you were clear about what's unclear, you wouldn't need God in your life. Any questions? Read on. We're going to get through this now.
Throughout the Bible, we see that alignment with God produces transformation. When one abides in Him, their desires begin to reflect His desires, and their steps are guided by His Spirit. As it is written, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. This renewal is the evidence of alignment, a life gradually shaped into righteousness, peace, and truth. Yet alignment is also relational. God does not call His people into mere rule following, but into communion. Through prayer, meditation on His word, and a heart attentive to His voice, believers cultivate intimacy with Him. In that closeness, His will becomes clearer, not as a distant command, but as a living guidance written upon the earth. Ultimately, spiritual alignment is a journey of becoming. It is the daily choice to walk in step with God, to listen, to trust, and to follow. And in that alignment, one discovers not only purpose, but peace, the assurance that their life is anchored in the will of the one who sees all things and orders them with perfect love.
Anybody got anything to say about that? Spiritual alignment, getting aligned with God. Does it seem difficult? Why you say that? Just a second. We need to hear what you're saying.
Okay. Thank you. I say it's difficult, and speaking for myself, because when you look at the aspects of the relationship, listening and trusting and following, listening is challenging for me to be still enough to hear His voice and allow His voice through the Holy Spirit to guide me. That's something I've been challenged with, and that's something I'm trying to overcome. And it's so that's why I say it can be challenging, can be difficult, but I trust that I study this word, listen to the word, the written word, and I try to walk that walk. But sometimes I'm trying to listen to him, say, to hear that voice. And sometimes I'm just so busy that's the challenge.
Do you think you listen to respond, or do you listen to apply?
I had to think about that.
Yeah, it's a heck of a question, isn't it?
So listening to respond, I guess in a practical sense, you're trying to think what to say.
Yeah.
When
I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you, not to respond. I'm listening in a way to try to hear what you're saying and process.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot of people listen to respond instead of listening to what you have to say and apply it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, which is tremendously. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was just a question. You might not do that, but I see what you're saying. Could that be an issue? Yeah. Did you want to say something?
I like to say that most of the time I've been guilty to listen for a rebuttal, to say something back, not listening to process, but to spit something back out.
Yeah. Jamie, have you worked on her with that, Jamie? That's going to be an interesting ride home. But I think in many cases when we talk about the alignment piece, believe it or not, disobedience in the life of a believer is a listening issue. We hear God and listen. Well, we listen. Most of us listen to God. We don't hear Him, and that's where the disobedience piece comes in. We say we listen to God, but do we hear Him? When we hear Him, then we process what He's saying, and then we get a better understanding of how to be obedient to what He's saying. And sometimes we take God for granted because He's God. Well, God said it, okay. But did I process it? Or did I just hear it? Or did I just listen to Him? And so I think in many issues, part of our problem with aligning with Him is the listening, the ear. Can be problematic. All right? Go ahead, Carolyn. Spiritual alignment to God. I'm moving kind of quickly because but we're having fun. Are we having fun yet? Okay, go right ahead. And don't be afraid. There's no wrong questions. There's nothing. This is good stuff. Go ahead.
A Christian approach to aligning with God's will centers on relationship knowing God. Okay,
I got to stop there because we live in a world to where this is very problematic. People know church, but they don't know Christ. We have produced a lot of church people. Now, some people will say, Pastor, you're judging. No, I'm making an observation. Jesus says, observe all things. And if the church was as powerful as it should be, the world would not be in the turmoil that it is in, because the word of God would be moving throughout the world in a way to where righteousness would be reigning much more than it is now. I literally believe that. I literally believe that. That we would, the real aspect of Christian apologetics would be running the world. And what I mean by that, the truth of who Christ is would be preeminent. That's what I'm talking about. The death, burial, and resurrection, and the unity and the fellowship of the church would be more powerful than it is today. If the church was as powerful today, the assault on voters rights would not be. If the church was powerful today, children would not be hungry like they are today. I just believe that stuff. I just, if the church was as powerful as it's supposed to be today, seniors would have Medicaid and Medicare, prescription medicine. I just believe that. I'm foolish enough to believe that. I'm a Matthew 25. Do unto others as they have done unto you. I just believe that's what would take place in the earth. That's spiritual alignment. Yeah. Does that make sense? Read on. When you know God, that's what the relationship brings forth. It brings love ye one another. Do for others. It's the other gospel. You become a part of the gospel. Read on.
A relationship knowing God, not just following rules. It's less about decoding a hidden plan and more about becoming the kind of person who naturally lives in step with Him. Here's a grounded, practical guide. Start with Scripture as your anchor. In Christianity, God's will isn't treated as the mystery in everything. A lot of it is already revealed through the Bible, especially in teachings of Jesus Christ. You're not starting from scratch. Clear themes show up repeatedly. Love God and others, act with humility and integrity, pursue justice and mercy.
Isn't that crazy? People go around and say, well, the Bible's hard. Love is a basic. Whenever you get done with it, love is a basic. You learn how to love your brother, your biological brother and sister before you learn how to do anything. When you got in a fight with your baby brother or your baby sister, your mama whipped both of you in love. Didn't you, Miss Florence? Didn't you whip both of them? Yeah. Which one did you whip most out of them two girls? Yeah. One of them didn't even move. She just kept her head down. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, my mother whipped both of us. Because we were fighting each other. Because she was teaching us how not to do that to one another. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Love is a basic. The basic. Mothers and fathers, whether single mother, single father, they teach basics. And you go around here talking about, well, you know, when a person is hard to love, they wouldn't taught the basics. You say whatever you want to say. Being acts of humility and integrity. That's family culture, people. Pursuit of justice and mercy. Those are things that we were raised with. Most of us, anyway. Not all of us, but we just might be factual about it, most of us. And those are Bible principles, Bible standards. Do what's right. Treat people, mercy. If we break it down, like you want to be treated. That's mercy, treating somebody like you want to be treated. That's just another way of saying it. Read on. Before asking what God, go ahead.
Before asking what's God's will for my life direction, it helps to ask, am I already living what's clearly been taught? Develop a consistent prayer life. Prayer isn't just asking for guidance, it's aligning your heart. A simple structure, surrender. God, your will over mine. Clarity. Ask for wisdom, not just outcomes. Listening. Sit in silence after praying. The Lord's Prayer is the model. It centers on God's will before personal requests.
I've been looking at the structure of the prayer closet, Matthew 6:6. People say, well, go into what's in your closet? What do you take into it and what do you bring out of it? Maybe you didn't understand that. And do you surrender when you go in, and when you come out, do you have clarity about your direction? Do you listen to God when you go in? Do you sit in silence to hear his voice? Spiritual alignment says you got to hear God's voice. And it's just not a one-time thing. When you're spiritually aligned with God, God desires conversation with you. He does, whether you realize it or not. And that doesn't mean that he talks to you every day. Sometimes he might talk to you once or twice a week, or maybe once a month, till you get it. Sometimes he talks and you don't get it. Spiritual alignment to God. Pay attention. Read on.
Attention to your motives. Two choices can look equally good on the surface, but come from very different places.
Did you get that? Read that again.
Two choices can look equally good on the surface, but come from very different places.
How many have ever lived that kind of life? Nobody? Looks good on the surface, but it can come from two different places. Yeah. He's a mystical illusionist. Yeah. Can make things look real good. Yeah. 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 Jamie, you've been a victim of that? Yeah. Yeah, y'all gonna have an interesting ride on the way home. Well, I'm gonna heat it up for you too. Yeah. I mean, when you look at this and you really try to understand it, a lot of people don't understand that. Satan is like this. What he does is he makes things look good and approachable until he gets you deeper in and deeper down, and then you can't get out of it. Yeah, he does it subtly. Yeah, he does it subtly. That's why I try to tell people all the time about repentant lifestyle. See, some of you all think that you don't have problems with sin. Kelly Perkins says you're a pop-eyed lie. You are. You really are. You're lying to yourself. Everybody has problems with sin. You just hadn't had any lately. Yeah. Everybody, what you're thinking, sometimes how you treat people can be totally out of kilter with God and out of kilter with people. And you can violate somebody by how you talk to them and how you treat them, Stop thinking that, you smoke a cigarette or drink some cognac or snort some cocaine or smoke a blunt or commit adultery or fornication that you done sinned. Sometimes the worst sin is the most subtle sin. People kill me not knowing, try to gauge their rights and their wrongs. Wrong is wrong. I don't care what level it is in your thinking. I don't care what it is. Yeah. People kill me acting like they don't have no issue with the opposite of what's right. I've learned all you got to do is put some money in the equation. and you'll lie to get that money. Eight out of 10 of us, if you put some money in an equation, you'd be surprised what you would do. Read on, Caroline.
Ask yourself, am I driven by fear, pride, or control, or by love, faith, and obedience?
Have you ever asked yourself that? Yeah. What drives you as a person?
I didn't.
What really drives you as a person in the alignment process with God? You fear things? You want to pride or you control? What is it? Is it love or faith or obedience? Here's the killer. I told you it was all on the inside. I preached some of it yesterday, honesty. You don't know. People want you, you want people to be honest with you, but you don't want to be honest with yourself. Alignment often requires internal honesty more than external certainty. Alignment now. This is serious stuff, people. Read on, number 4.
Seek guidance, but don't outsource responsibility.
Uh-oh.
Christians often turn to pastors, mentors, or community for discernment. That's valuable, but it's not a substitute for your own relationship with God.
They can't help you, people. It's a personal thing. Everybody say yeah to that. Yeah. Did y'all get that? You are your own responsibility. Your spiritual alignment is your own responsibility. Did y'all know that? Yeah. Please stop blaming me. That's your thing. You got to get yourself together. I can preach and teach stuff, but you got to make a decision to align yourself with God. Yeah. Maybe some people don't want that. That alignment stuff kind of is a boring lifestyle. What do you say? Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Is it really boring though, Pastor?
Yeah, I think she said it's lonely. It can be lonely because a lot of people don't want to do it. Everybody wants the benefit of being a Christian, but they don't want the work of being one. I mean, it's really difficult. Love is difficult. Faith is difficult. Obedience is difficult. It's difficult when God tells you not to do something and you want to do it. So can I get a witness? Yeah. It is. It is. It's difficult. It's difficult. Yeah. Oh my, it's difficult. You can say all you want, you know. That's why God created an advocacy for us. God knew that we would have problems in the relationship with Him. I'm not saying that as an excuse. God didn't create it for us to make excuses. He created for us to stay in intimate relationship with Him. He loved us and loves us that much that he already knows that we are frail creatures and that we are still subject to error. The bad part about it is we talk about somebody else's downfall and we got a few ourselves. We do that. We're good at that. Did you see what he did? Did you see what she did? Did you see what you did? You just didn't get caught. We do that to people. Read on, Carolyn. Oh, what time did she tell us we had a break? Huh?
30.
Oh my God, I don't want to be under the wrath of her. We got time to do this one. Go ahead, Carolyn.
The goal isn't to have someone tell you what to do. It's to confirm and sharpen what you're already sensing. Look for the fruit, not just the feeling. Not every strong feeling is from God. Christianity emphasizes fruit as evidence of alignment, an idea tied to teachings in the New Testament.
People don't believe that. You can tell a tree by the fruit that it bears. People don't literally believe that. They don't believe it. It's true. All right, we're going to let y'all get that free ice cream. Because you all like free stuff. Everybody likes something free. Look at Clifford. He's running out there now to get that ice cream. Gonna let y'all know they on their way. All right, we'll pick up. Are y'all enjoying this so far? Y'all quiet. I can't tell, though. I really can't tell. But we'll get to it. We're going to get to, and I'm reading all this because I want to get to the critical danger of avoiding God. And then we'll get to where, I want to get to that releasing your personal agendas, because many of you can't align yourselves because you got a personal agenda you don't want nobody to know about. Okay? All right, let's get going. All right. Come on back. We don't eat ice cream in the sanctuary. I don't think. Do we, Clifford? Jesus wouldn't eat ice cream in the sanctuary. He'd turn the tables over. What's that? We're going to get to that. Miss Shirley don't have no cowboy hat on. She got one of them Dallas hats on, the JR hats. JR had one of them Sue Ellen hats. Yeah, she told me that the doctor, ain't she? right. We're getting ready to get started. Was the ice cream good? What kind was it? Homemade. Well, that's good. All right, I'm going to move a little bit to day one. I think the critical danger avoiding God, I think you can look at that. Some of y'all know what it is to avoid God, don't you? I don't have to go through that. Yeah. Y'all know what that is. Y'all know how to do that. Yeah. Ms. Bernice, we know about avoiding God, don't we? Yeah, we know who to avoid. Yeah. Yeah, we know about spiritual separation, loss of moral grounding. We know about the inner unrest and lack of peace, and we know about vulnerability to destruction, destructive influences, mispurpose of our calling. We know about some of that stuff. I know we do, but I want to get to this day one. So you can look at the rest when you go home tonight. So y'all won't say, well, we didn't get to day one. Yeah, so I'm on it right now. I just wanted to give some groundwork. Day one, getting in tune with God's will. That's what we're going to do. And you know, that old scripture y'all like to quote when you get up in church and give your testimony. And, trust in the Lord with all thine heart. You be shouting, trust in the Lord with all thy heart. Lean not thy own understanding. All our ways acknowledge him. Be ye transformed and renewing of your mind. You know, y'all remember that one. Y'all remember all of that one. Which are core teachings. They're very core. And they work if you know how to utilize them. Come on, read where it says core teaching points.
Spiritual alignment means your thoughts, desires, and actions match God's will. Just like a compass must point north to function properly, your life needs to be oriented toward God. Misalignment often shows up as confusion or lack of peace, constant striving without fulfillment, acting outside of conviction. Alignment begins with recognition, realizing that God has a direction and your life must intentionally follow it. Illustration idea. A musical instrument out of tune sounds wrong even if the right notes are played. In the same way, life off-key spiritually produces frustration. Reflection questions. Where in my life do I feel out of sync with God? What voices am I listening to more than God? Practice for the day. Spend 10 to 15 minutes in silence asking God, show me where I'm misaligned. Write down what comes to mind.
That's the very practice. You need to do that. You know, it's called, examining. That's your moment of examination. Some of us don't examine ourselves, but you're going to examine me, but you're not going to examine yourself. But we do that because it gives us an opportunity not to look at ourselves, nothing wrong with examining yourself. Matter of fact, it's best to examine yourself because you're going to find out some things that are in you that you might need to try to handle. If you can't handle them, you're going to have to call for some assistance to get that stuff handled. It is what it is. We don't like to examine ourselves, because when you do that, you're going to find yourself wanting to align yourself with what it is God wants you to align yourself with. Here's where I want to be. Let's get going. You're pointing
at one of the central tensions in spiritual growth. People want the benefits of alignment, peace, clarity, favor, without the cost of surrender, loss of control. That tension is real and it's worth unpacking carefully.
Did you know y'all want that? Yeah. That's most of our frustration. We want the benefits of alignment. We want that, but we don't want to surrender. Some of us will not admit it, but we love control. We love control. Some of us have disguised our attitudes. We don't want people to know we want control. Yeah. We love control. Some of us won't even be in a relationship if we can't control it. Will you? Y'all quiet now. You like that control. Read on.
Why people want alignment without letting go of control. At a deep level, control feels like safety. People hold on to control because it creates the illusion of predictability. It protects them from disappointment. It allows them to define outcomes on their own terms.
What y'all think? Let's talk about it. Nobody want to talk about it, do it? Yes, sir. Deacon Brown said, no, I don't want to talk about this. Yeah. Nobody want to talk about it?
Seems like we want to be God.
Yeah. Anybody else want to talk about be God? Create an illusion of what? Predictability. Yes.
Yeah, I think that that control thing is, I think that can be a tough one for some of us because we're used to being able to get in and out of cars and we know exactly where we want to go. Even so much so sometimes we'll just set the GPS and just take me here. And so and even at your house, you have everything that's in place just the way that you want it.
Don't you come in here moving nothing?
Don't move anything.
I've been in the house and somebody came in your house and they moved something and they leave and you get mad because they done moved something. You call them and say, did you see my cup that was on the ledge there? Yeah, I moved it and put it in the cabinet. Nobody tell you to move my cup. Come in my house and then move my cup. I had that cup that wasn't bothering nobody. That cup been sitting there for 2 weeks. I put it there. And then don't you come over here moving nothing that I put in there. This is my house. I pay the rent here. I pay the light. You ain't paying nothing around here. Don't come in here doing nothing. If you move something, you check with me first. That's why they don't come over.
Yeah. And I think the thing too is Pastor, when you're in control, you can do everything that you want to do the way that you want to do it and when you want to do it. But when you try to get in alignment with God, sometimes I guess it could be a little fearful or scary because you don't know where he's going to take you. Yeah. And so when you let go, when you tell him to take the wheel, you just have to be prepared to go wherever he takes you and trust him. So that requires a certain level of trust in order to be able to let go. And I got to trust that where you taking me is what's going to be best for me.
Yeah. That's risky, isn't it, y'all? Yeah. Especially when you're a control individual. Now, Sister Jamie wanted the mic up here so y'all can help correct her husband if he get off. Am I right? Helping her tonight, too. Go right ahead. The mic went out on you. All right, go ahead.
It can also be fear too because of the unpredictability of what God may ask you to do. Can I do it? Even though the word tells us that he's with us and even going before us, but can I do it? Is a question that
God is not going to ever ask you to do anything you cannot do. The problem is, do you want to do it? God ain't gonna never tell you to do nothing, you know. When God tells you to do something, the first thing two things that happen. You're gonna do it, or you're gonna make excuses not to do it. When you read anything, any biblical character, you're gonna find out they did it or they made an excuse not to do it. And the excuse is they said something or they ran away from it. Moses, I stutter. Jonah ran. So it ain't that they can't do it. It just is that you just don't want to do it. You know, God doesn't ask you to do anything he knows you cannot do. When God asks you to do something, he knows you can do it. You just don't want to do it. That's why you're protecting yourself from disappointment. That's what the second one said. You're protecting yourself from disappointment. Not that you can't do it. You just don't want to be disappointed in the fact that you don't want to do it. Sometimes we create our own disappointment now. Yeah. Because sometimes we put expectation in people. Yes, go right ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
There comes times in our lives when we have to put faith over fear.
Yeah.
And know that God has already equipped us and we just have to walk in it.
Yeah, most definitely. I agree with that.
Faith.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the big issue. People don't do that. We put emotions over anything before we put faith. You know, that's the God's truth. We're scared. Huh? No, we don't want to put in the work. We want the benefit. Like we said when we opened up with this thing, the benefits of alignment. We want the benefits of it. We don't want to put the work in. Yeah.
Pastor.
Yeah.
Is some of this because our relationship with God is not where it should be? Because you got this spiritual alignment.
I don't think any of our relationships with God is where they should be.
Well, I understand that, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. But every relationship in here needs improvement. Alignment is a 24/7 everyday improvement. Some days you're good at it and some days you're not. Some days you'll line up pretty good and some days there are some things that can cause you not to line up. Some days you win at it and some days you lose at it. Yeah.
So I was speaking to someone the other day, and it was a one-on-one conference call, and they asked me to do something, and I hesitated, and they said, I can tell by your conversation that you're a Christian and you have faith, but you have a mindset issue. That's what she told me. She said, so you're already ahead of the game, but you don't even know it because you have a mindset issue. And I started crying on the phone because she was right. because you can tell, she could tell from my speech and our interaction that I'm a Christian. She has never even met me. We've talked on the phone several times, but she's never met me. But she said, I can tell you're a Christian. I can tell you have faith, but you've got some things going on with your mindset. And I think that that's hindering my alignment. And I understand what Jamie was saying as well. I'm sorry, Deacon Jamie, what he was saying about you don't think you can do it. It's not that you don't think you can do it, is you might have some insecurities about having to do it. You know that God is going to be on the other side, or that he's gone before you, and even if you fail, he's going to pick you up. But you've got some insecurities. You don't trust yourself. You might have a little bit of trust in him, but you don't even trust yourself to do it. And so that's an earthly thing, but that hinders a lot of us. That hinders me.
Well, God's not going to give you anything he can't trust you with.
And we understand that. However,
yeah. I understand what all y'all talking about. I mean, whether you realize it or not, this little homemade book is a good book. You know, so it's not Tony Evans, it's Wayne Moore. It's just a $5 book. I get no residuals off of it. And it's just for y'all to have and enjoy. Let's look at the other spiritual alignment, however. Yes, Shannon.
Just really quickly before we move on. I couldn't help, as you've been talking, and even the way the class started out, I couldn't help but think about back in the day. Back in the day, we had those old school Cadillacs. We had those big old cars.
Yeah. Fleetwood Elegance.
Yeah. And you know, for some reason,
with Vogues and
they would
Fox.
always be out of line. And you'd have to figure out what straight was. And so once you figured out what straight was, you could do okay with it, but the wheel was crooked. It wasn't lined up. And so what it made me think about is that a lot of times how we do, rather than to get an alignment, we adjust to the way the car is driving, rather than to get in line with where God would have for us to be. We kind of adjust. We adjust to the car rather than getting it aligned, taking it to the mechanic and getting it aligned, which the mechanic would be God in this instance.
But if you don't get it aligned, it's going to cost you more.
Amen. Yeah.
When you don't get yourself aligned, it costs you more. Yeah. What happens when you don't get an alignment? The tread wears unevenly. The tie rods break. The bearings wear out. So you're going to spend, it becomes more expensive when you don't get aligned. Y'all ain't hearing nothing I'm saying. Go ahead, Ms. Arthur.
I just wanted to share with everyone real quick. This may help some of you with being in alignment and understanding that I had an issue for a long time with running from my gift. In the blessings, I hid in the blessings of my job for years. And I knew that I was supposed to write, but I ran because I had doubts in myself, and what it all boiled down to was I really had doubt in God. And when I was rehabbing from my hip surgeries.
How do you have doubt in God? I mean,
it was fear of everything. Fear I would succeed. Fear I wouldn't be able to write another book. Fear. And then all of a sudden it was like, when I was rehabbing from my hips and I had nothing to do but just lay there, and God just started, I couldn't run, and he just started talking to me.
I don't mean to
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, but
I
never heard it on that
truthful.
order.
Yeah, I'm just being truthful. I doubted God.
Oh, you doubted God.
I doubted God.
Oh, okay, I got you now.
Yeah, I
thought
doubted
you said
God.
you had. Yeah, I got you now. I
Yeah,
may have
okay.
misunderstood you.
Okay, yeah. And so what it boiled down to when I was rehabbing from my hips, he just laid it out. When you face me, Janine, on your last breath that you take, when you face me, I'm going to ask you, I blessed you with the gift to write. I gave you X amount of days on this earth. I put X amount of people in your path, and you kept running year after year after year. What are you going to say to me, Janine, when you face me, face to face? What are you going to say? Because I gave you this talent so that you could show people my truth, so that you can show kids my truth. And what did you do? You hid from me. You doubted me. You doubted yourself. You doubted the ability that I gave you. My spirit gave you this gift to write. And what do? You hide in the blessing of your job. So that's how he talked to me, and that's how I came to write my first book, and now I have 4.
Oh, congratulations. Miss Lori brought it up about the fear factor. There it is. You see it right there. It exists. But moving on a little bit, fear of the unknown, fear of loss, status, relationship, identity, fear that God's pain may not match personal desire. But then here's the spiritual alignment demands surrender. Releasing personal agendas. Personal agenda is the set of plans, expectations, and outcome you've already decided must happen. You've decided it's going to happen. The challenge is not having what goals, Somebody sneeze? I thought you were shouting. The issue is what? Attachment to what? Read on, Carolyn.
When you hold tightly to your own agenda, you filter God's direction through what you already want.
You filter God. You kind of try to control God again. You filter God. How do you filter God? Read on.
You resist anything that disrupts your plan. You confuse your desires with God's will.
You confuse, isn't that amazing? You're a powerful joker if you're doing all that. Your agenda. Now, we're getting somewhere now. This is why you ain't aligned. Read on.
Alignment requires you to move from God bless what I've planned to God reveal what you've planned. Why?
Uh-oh. How many been there? So everybody raise their hand on that one. Read on.
Why this is hard? Because your agenda is often tied to your identity, what you believe success, purpose, or happiness should look like. Spiritual reality. You cannot fully receive divine direction while clinging to self-made conclusions.
Uh-oh, what does that mean? What you think, not what God thinks. Some of y'all don't even know what God thinks. Why? You haven't surrendered to him. You ain't surrendered to him. You go to church, but you ain't surrendered to him. That's why judgment is going to start in the church. People forget that. We think God going to judge outside. When he come back, he coming here first. All that old fake stuff we got going on, he going to fix that. That thing where he say, you call me Lord, Lord. He going to say, I know you not. But I've been singing. When I sang, they used to run and shout. Okay, get on over in the corner. Read on, Carolyn.
Trusting God's timing. Even when people are willing to follow God's direction, they often struggle with when things happen.
How many do that? Yeah. I do. I struggle with it. God's timing rarely what? Aligns with what?
Human urgency, cultural pressure, personal expectations.
Am I right about that? Read on.
This creates tension. When you don't trust God's timing, you may rush decision prematurely, force doors open that aren't ready, abandon direction because it's taking too long.
Somebody said, woo, woo, woo. God taking too long. I got to help him. How many have helped God before? Everybody, have y'all helped me before? God, you know we got, hey, let me help you. Let me just a little bit, God. Let me help you with this. Yeah. You know what we got going on, man. Come on, Paul. Give me five. Give me a high five. Let's do this together, you know. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah. Why is it so hard, Carolyn?
Waiting feels like inactivity, but spirituality, waiting is often preparation.
Yeah, God ain't going to give it to you unless you're prepared to receive it. God is not in the business of keep giving you the same thing over and over and over again. If you don't have it now, you're in a place of preparation. Never forget that. God says he's going to give it to you. He's going to give it to you. If it's not there at a certain time, it's not that he said he's not going to give it to you. He's kind of prepared. You don't have it because it's your fault. You haven't accepted preparation program. You got it. God's trying to get you ready to give it to you. It's called. He's got you on in a holding pattern until you get ready to receive it. Stop blaming God for your impatience. All right? Preparation, yeah. Timing involves what, Carolyn?
Development of character.
That's what it does. While God is preparing me, here's what it is. He's developing me. Aligning what?
Alignment of circumstances.
The circumstances, y'all call it putting my ducks in what?
In a row.
Eunice used to call it turn over every stone. The next one.
Readiness for what you're asking for.
Yeah, you're not ready for it. Those are the three areas of preparation. God is not saying he's not going to give it to you. He got to get you ready. He got to align everything for you. And you got to work with the development of your character with him. Spiritual reality, Carolyn.
What comes too early can collapse under the weight you're not prepared to carry.
There it is right there. You need to underline that. The spiritual reality, it didn't say Trump's reality. It said God's reality. What comes too early collapses what? Under the weight of not being prepared to carry it. It becomes a burden then. Because you got your own agenda. Y'all ain't hearing nothing I'm saying, is you? Ooh-wee. This homemade book is pretty good, ain't it? I ain't gonna charge you nothing for it. Let's go have fun with it. Obeying even what?
When it's uncomfortable.
How many done that before? Shoo, yeah. Jamie, when you done obeyed her when it was uncomfortable? That's another piece in the way home. That's a long ride, Jamie. Go ahead, Miss Carolyn.
This is where alignment becomes real, not in intention, but in action. Obedience often requires
Here's what it requires. Check this out. Read on.
doing what doesn't feel natural,
Oh, Lord.
moving against your emotions, stepping into uncertainty.
Now, that's dangerous, isn't it, for some people? Discomfort shows up because
Growth stretches you. Obedience challenges your preferences. God's ways are not always intuitive.
well, this is the removal from your comfort zone right here. Your removal from your comfort zone, these three areas right here. Growth stretches you. Some of y'all don't want to grow. It's too, no, I don't want that responsibility. I don't want that responsibility. I remember, I said, man, you need a key so you can open. Now, I don't want no key, Pastor. You don't want to open up or nothing. You don't want to close nothing. I come to church when everything's open up. Yeah. I want that. Some of us don't want no responsibility. Y'all not hearing me, are you? We don't want to come out of our comfort zone. We like doing what we want to do. Huh? Some of you have a comfort zone. I tell people all the time, that comfort zones are made to be interrupted. Being a Christian, a believer, are places that in the process are going to be interrupted. If you don't grow, God ain't going to get no glory out of you. You might as well face that. You won't be aligned. There's some tension in the alignment process. You got to understand that. I think we're about ready to get out of here. Are we ready, Miss Darlene? I can't hear you. 5 minutes. All right. Let's go on down. Go ahead on where it says, why is this hard?
Comfort feels safe, but growth rarely happens there. You may feel resistance, fear, inconvenience. But discomfort is not a sign you're off track. It's often a sign you're being stretched into alignment.
There it is right there. I just said that. Didn't I say that, Arthur? Just said that. God stretches you to grow you. Yeah. He stretches you to, alignment means you got to get stretched. Spiritual reality, alignment is proven through action, not in what?
Intention.
Bringing it all together.
People want alignment because of what it produces.
I mean, want peace. I mean, really want peace. Some of y'all too young to have peace. Huh? You got kids, you ain't gonna never have no peace right now. Might as well get ready. Only way you gonna get peace is you beat them to death. Then go in the room and shut up and sit down, close the door. That's how my mama and them got peace. How'd your mama get peace? Yeah. Dry. They didn't say stop crying. You know what they said no day? Dry up. How many remember that word? Y'all don't remember that word? You remember that word? Dry up, boy. Dry up. They didn't say stop that crying. Dry up. That's a country word. Miss Florence, is that a country word? Oh, you's a city woman. I forgot you. She said, dry up. Mama, daddy just said, dry up, boy. Dry up. That's an old word. Y'all remember that word? Yeah. Dry up. No, you didn't get no whoopings. What you talking about? Yeah. Yeah, dry up. Yeah, that's right. In them days, I'm telling you what happened. You got to understand, we live in times now where peace, that's how they got that peace. They run around that house, some kids, we making all that noise. They wanted some quiet, peace and quiet. They knew how to get it. Nowadays, we can't, peace and clarity and purpose and all that stuff is hard to get in a world that's crisis. But you know what? Jesus loves crisis. He steps up to crisis. He can bring peace to crisis. He can bring clarity to crisis and purpose to crisis. So we're going to stop there tonight. And we'll be right here tomorrow night. I'm going to leave my book right here. And any questions? Yes, ma'am. All right, we are done in here tonight. We will pick up tomorrow night, be on time because we got a lot to cover. We're going to try to get through a little more of this tomorrow night on day one. Then we're going to get into day two because day two is much shorter and day three is much shorter. Okay? Any questions? Y'all be safe driving home, okay? Jamie, you all have a great conversation on the way in. God bless y'all.